Humans, what have you learned? Programmed to beat you. To beat you. Humans, what have you learned? I was programmed to beat you. Mistakes. I was programmed to beat you. Humans, what have you learned? I was programmed to beat you. The same mistakes. I was programmed to beat you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of the Formula Racing League, or the Future Racing League of Teams. I'm here tonight, I'm Cockcast, and I'm back for another race. We've got Tier 1 here tonight around the Sao Paulo circuit, and here tonight with me I've got Travis. Definitely. We are absolutely ready. And so are the drivers. They've already started their qualifying session. We're going to cut over now as Silo takes provisional pole position. The first driver into the 106s already in this session early on. We've got 5 drivers who set times. All of them, barring Jordan, who becomes the 6th driver across the line. All of them at least in the 107s. Just trying to set everything up. We've got... Who am I watching now? Who should we watch? We'll watch as Yuri comes across the line. He's going to go up into 4th place. Brand's heading through Sector 1. Anonymous is heading through the final sector. So we'll watch on board with the Ferrari as he comes around the last couple of corners. That's a yellow flag out for a McLaren getting out of the way. That's going to be Anonymous across the line. He's going to set a 107.592. It isn't a bad start.
But I expect better. He performed, when was it? Sunday in fours? He performed amazingly in fours on Sunday. Yeah, he just got messed up with the penalty. He also had an amazing strategy. Then the safety car ruined him. Which is very unfortunate for Anonymous.
And he'll be hoping for better tonight. He's in P7. Bran puts him down to P8. He moves up into third position. We've got Nardo on a lap. Is anybody else who's already set a time doing another lap? It doesn't look like it. And so...
Only Nardo.
Yeah, only Nardo, and now Barbance comes across the line to start his lap. He's already invalidated.
Who else? Barbance.
Barbance. We'll switch back to Nardo then, who apparently gets the purple second sector. We'll see if that's true as he comes across the line. It's lied to us a few times so far this season, just generally on the F124 game. It's going to be a quick time though. Nardo with a 1:07.067, slotting in to that third place. He's on the podium, but what can Phoenix do about it? He's the next driver on a lap, considering Barbance has invalidated his, and he's just heading through now the S's, possibly the most difficult section of this track. You've got to keep up your minimum speed. You can't really stray offline too much. Phoenix just about keeping it within around the right lines. That's where the game would suggest you stay. He's got just a couple of corners to go, and then he will come across the line to set his first challenging time. This should be it's more of a banker lap, this first run, because of how much this game favors later on in the session. Phoenix coming up to the line. It's going to be a 1:07.951. I was preparing myself for it to be 500ths down, but that's all good.
Here
Phoenix.
comes ZRT Deacon on a lap now, going in to turn 12. He's just crossed. He's about to cross the final sector. He's already on the final sector. Here he comes. Final couple of corners. DRS now enabled. Will he be able to go to that top of the leaderboard? No, he won't, but it's going to be P7 on his banker lap. Wilson. Jordan. ART Harrison. Here comes Harrison now. Turn 12. Going into the final corners. Just a flat out section of corners, to be honest. Now going into the final one. Turn 15. Is it good enough? This is his bank lap as well. It's going to have been P13 just above his teammate Phoenix.
And we've only got one driver, Josh Rose, who hasn't set a time. JD Bergson, I believe, had a qualifying ban. I am willing to be corrected on that. But drivers are coming out for their second runs now. Silo and Cornel Bem, the top two. They're on their out laps. Suzoi's starting to set his time. So is Yuri. So both the AMS drivers. Another AMS driver. We've had many second runners, or second drivers in that AMS car. Yuri, it's his turn tonight. Just trying to have a look. Cornel Bem starts his lap. Silo purple through sector 1 allegedly. We'll have to wait and see if that is true. That's a Mercedes getting out of the way pretty well there, heading through sector 2, throwing the car through the corners. A big lock up there that he won't have wanted, that's compromised his exit and compromised his line, but he seems to be able to get it going generally okay. It may be a phantom lockup. Again, something we've seen quite a lot on this game, where it claims the car locks up and then the turning circle is perfect, but he is improving. It is purple. It's by under a tenth, but if he can find any time in this final sector, it will be an absolutely storming lap. Not that a 1:06.842 wasn't an incredible lap anyway, but Silo's across the line, and it's a 1:06.705. What can Yuri do about it? Nothing, because he's going for another lap, I think. Who else have we got?
Well, now Bem now. The guy crossed the guy in P2. Can he pass Silo, who's just took his lead? No, he can't. 1:06.8, just over a tenth off Silo.
So that's the second driver into the 106s. Who's that? Who's gone round or parked up or something? It looks like it's going to be... It is Silo. Coming up to the line, the next driver is going to be Harrison, who's invalidated. Who else have we got? Suzoi has invalidated, but his teammate Yuri, I think he's on a push lap. I'm pretty sure he's on a push lap. He is certainly on a push lap. 2 tenths up It's almost 2.5 tenths up, and he's got ERS to burn. Around the final couple of corners, around the final one, and it's on to the straights. Yuri, he's looking to beat a 106.7. He sets a 107.1, which slots him in 4th place ahead of his teammate.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a good qualifying session so far. Quite close. Only 3 drivers now in the 0.6s. 3 tenths separating P1 and P... No, 2 tenths, sorry. Separating P1 and P2. Then it is 2 tenths between P3 and P4 and P5. So, I reckon my prediction to top this qualifying session has got to be... I reckon AMS Yuri is going to surprise us. What about you?
I think the top 2, having set the pace so far, Silo, on that early run already in the 106s. I think that's who we're going to see on pole position, but it could be any of them. It's also close, with all of the drivers barring 2 within 1 second of each other.
Just who's got a qualifying, man.
And you've got a few drivers getting ready for... It's, at this point, the final run or this penultimate run. 6 minutes left on the clock. It's going to be very difficult to... it's going to be very difficult for us to tell whether it is going to be a final run. It could be a 2... It could be a 2-lap run where they don't push that hard on the first lap. And then the second one is where they really go for it. Barbance. Is he going to come into the pits? No, he's not. He's going to do the traditional trick of cutting the pit lane. He is almost the 4th driver into the 106. Is Nardo. Actually, I missed it. Became the 3rd. Barbance with a 107.129. Slots in just behind Yuri in 6th place. But this is a solid start early on for Silo and for Conts, the Alpine drivers, which is, if I can find it, CRE. CRE with a good start in there. In this qualifying session, Josh Rose is going to come across the line. This is his first lap, and it's a good opportunity to watch on board at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Apache. So he's just gone through the center S first couple of corners. He's down to the Cedar de Lago now with allegedly a purple first sector. You've got to ride the curbing on the exit pretty much halfway across, and he does that with perfection. Now heading up to the second S's of the lap. These are sort of extended S's, W's if you'd like. As he heads through, you can see so many tire markings from lockups through here. You've got to keep it away from that sort of scenario. Heading through again, there's not many lockup markers there. Josh Rose, though, has added to the few that there are. Opening up the ERS, opening up the steering. The final braking zone is upon him. And on the exit, he holds it together. This is set to be a strong lap. Purple first, purple second. Is Josh Rose going to go purple third? And is it going to be a provisional pole? No, it's not. 107.3. I think they did lie to me with the 2 purple sectors because it felt like a put together lap. But there, to be fair, it wasn't too far off. 6 tenths off Silo. 107.3. I could only dream of scoring. But we'll have to see, as with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. There is 1 car out on the track, and that is that of Josh Rose. 16 drivers will exit their pit boxes in just a few moments' time to set their final runs in round 11 of the Future Racing League of Teams. And the first one out is Phoenix. And he's followed by his teammate Harrison. Then he's followed by the Haas of Geekin. Then he's followed by the McLaren of Nardo. All these drivers getting ready for their final runs. It's now or never for them all. That's Anonymous coming out. That's a Williams coming out as well. A Haas passing your screens there. Very thankful of ghosting, because the Ferrari strategy to crash into the Haas car probably wouldn't have been ideal. We've got two RBs in the lead of this pack. They're two down in 14th and 15th. They will want an improvement as soon as they possibly can into the final lap. Harrison set a competitive time. Phoenix 3/10 off his teammate. Not quite there. Not likely. Well, that's not likely to be a time that's better than the final row of the grid if Jordan can hook it up. But Phoenix across the line now. Something needs to be done for the RB team. Phoenix is across. Harrison is across to start their times. You can see drivers flocking out of the pits now with just under 2 minutes on the clock. Phoenix will come up to the first sector split, and it's going to be a minor improvement. Harrison is going to set. That's not an improvement. He must be going for the 2-lap strategy, which would play perfectly into what Phoenix has, as he has a massive wobble. A massive, massive wobble that could have cost him a lot of time. He was only up minimally on his first sector, and he's looking for another improvement. The second sector split time comes up now, and it's not an improvement. That did lose him time. It lost him the confidence as well to really go for it. However, Nardo's going for it. Nardo is really going for it. And around the last couple of corners, he could be on for a strong time. He's improving. He needs to improve by 0.2 to be on pole position. Nardo's across the line in second place, a 106.8. Silo is improving as well. That's geeking up into 8th place. Silo is improving again minimally, but the Alpine is looking to hold on to that pole position. Cornel Bem across the line to score, to start his lap. You've got a Ferrari, that of Anonymous, who is coming around the final corner. He's gone for a 2-lap run. Behind him is Barbance, who's on an outlap. Behind him, Conts, who's improving. Fourth driver into the 106s. It's looking likely. It's looking like it's just happened. But Silo behind him. That is an incredible lap, 106.4. Just before the checkered flag is waved. No one else can come across the line to begin a lap now. Leclerc comes across the line, improving by a 10th. Who's that? That's Phoenix on for a competitive time, a 107.5. Leapfrogs him above his teammate, who's improved by 0.5, so he will skyrocket to P12. So not as much as we were expecting. That's a Haas into the pit lane. That's a Mercedes across the line. He's not improved positionally, so Zoe will not improve. Josh Rose is up into 8th position. Across the line, who was that? Improving. Lando, but not by much. And these final runs, they've found improvements, but these improvements are not quite enough. Anonymous, though, is up into 7th place. That is an improvement. It's a solid one as well. Barbance across the line. He doesn't improve. And it's looking like, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be your grid for the FRLT Brazilian round. Silo with an incredible lap to set that pole position time for CRE. You've got Conts in 4th, leaving CRE in a good position. Sorry about that. Colonel Bem in 2nd place. Nardo in 3rd. find what teams they are. Oh, shut up, controller. Who are we waiting for? We're waiting for Silo to park it up in the pit lane before we can go to our intermission. But that's Silo taking that pole position. Colonel Bear in second, Nardo in third. Then it's Conce, Bran, Yuri. And it's stolen it away from me. That's a shame.
What's happening?
That's better.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So, are I in time for the race?
You are. We're not in the race yet. We've just finished qualifying.
Who qualified on pole?
Silo with an incredible lap, almost 3/10 up from the driver behind him and 5/10 up off 4th place. We are going to go to an intermission screen. After that, we will have the green flag in the in FRLT. See you then.
Humans, what have you learned? I was programmed to beat you.
We'll see if this works.
Go.
It does work, right? It's fancy new comms box that I've managed to set up here. I might even, if I'm feeling fancy.
It's racing.
5 lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's lights. And it's action. We are away in Brazil. Silo getting a good start ahead of Colonel Bem, who's going to look to the inside of turn 1. They ghost as they head through it, but Silo clings onto that first place. Nardo following them through, and Conce a little bit too far behind for comfort, as Yuri will look to pressure now as they head down to the Cida del Lago. Looking to the inside, that is a Haas of Geekin on Suzoy. 2 of our quickest drivers down outside of the points positions, looking to fight back up. Geekin has the edge over Suzoy for the time being. Josh Rose, Geekin's teammate, looking to the inside of Barbance as they head into the S's now, trying to hold on to the outside line. This could be a great move. He's going to back out of it, but just clinging on to an inside line. And he's to the inside of Barbance. Little bit of wheel banging between himself and the Red Bull. But as they head down the hill, Barbance clings onto the position, but Silo leads.
Oh, the McLaren gets pushed off track by the V-carb. What a good start from Silo, I do have to say. Cornell Bem now is going to look down the inside into turn one. Is he going to complete the move? Clean racing there, just enough space left from Silo. He holds that position. Further back now, the McLaren is hunting down Cornell Bem. Even looking to get the move down here. A bit of contact, but not a lot. A bit of a spin there from the Aston Martin. Not a lot though, just lost a bit of traction. Will the McLaren look for a move here? No, he won't. He's just going to sit behind.
And that was a swap.
Racing.
That was a swap in the background, by the way, between Suzuki and JD Bergsma. Suzuki dropping down the order side by side now with Leclerc as they head down the hill. But Suzuki manages to hold on to that position. He has only technically dropped one place, but he's just not had the pace that we've seen him have, and that's Jordan Round and pretty much out of contention, joining Lando in the in those that are out of touch. Everybody else is with DRS. Colonel Bernardo a little bit more than DRS. A little bit of contact between the two. Nardo pulling out in front of Cornell. They've both got DRS for the first time in this race as they head down to the Cida de Lago, but Silo holds on. And it looks like Nardo's going to hold on to that position from Colonel Bem as well. Side by side between Yuri and Kontz. Kontz holding on for P4 for the time being. You've got Bran, though, looking to take the opportunity of the two fighting in front of him. He's unable to do so. 6th place is where the Williams is going to stay for now. But everybody, barring the bottom two, is separated by less than a second. That could be about to change as Harrison drops out of the DRS of Leclerc. But they are all so close as we head onto lap 4 of this Grand Prix now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good race so far. Good overtakes. Oh, what happened to Lando? He must have had damage or something. Or span. I was not watching that. Gap packs are starting to form. There's like top 4 or 5 are in a pack. Fastest lap from Sasori with a 9.5.
And in the meantime, his teammate gets past Kontz and up into 4th place. The two Mercedes have been quick early on. Nardo looking to take the lead of the race off of Silo. There's wheel banging. There's contact as they head down the hill and into the S's. Nardo still clings onto that place. Silo still trying to follow through, trying to open up a gap somewhere on the McLaren. He's unable to do so, and that is going to be 1st place for Nardo. Kontz just trying to follow through, but they have actually closed back up the rest of the pack in the last lap or so. Because of Yuri and Kontz fighting, it has allowed Bran, the leader of the rest of the pack, Barbance, and everybody there to filter through, to follow through. The only exceptions to that rule are the two Racing Bulls of Phoenix and Harrison, as well as the two who've had incidents. So they will not be contesting really unless anything goes wrong, unless there's a safety car, which with all these drivers so close together, you would expect.
Yeah. Racing Bulls are looking for a good result, though. They are currently 6th in the standings. They are 17 points behind Team Echo, who I believe are in the McLarens. So that is Nardo and Lando. They're currently beating one of them, but the other one is far, far ahead of them both. Silo's got back in the lead. So obviously it's going to be DRS games now. Whose tyres last longer? Talking about tyres, why don't we look at them? So Silo, everybody's on mediums except from Anonymous, Josh Rose, Harrison, and Lando. Still a DRS train going on now. From P1 to P13. So 13 drivers, well 12 drivers have got DRS. That's going to be interesting. And will these Racing Bulls start battling?
As Nardo looks to take the lead back, he doesn't quite do it. The DRS wasn't quite enough on that occasion, but he will have it as he comes out onto the second straight of the lap. It's open. Is he closing? He's 0.3 behind. That goes down to 2 to 1. He tucks back in. He stays behind the Alpine for now. But Nardo is really demonstrating the pace that he's got early on. He actually went a little bit off, outbraked himself slightly into the Cida del Lago. Colonel Bem coming back into that fight, pressuring once again the McLaren in front of him. And that is where the difficulty will come in, because you can pressure as much as you can, but when you've got a DRS train this long, it's going to make it increasingly difficult to fight with no fear, which is what you have to do to gain those minimal gains, especially at the top, where they're going to be on it lap after lap after lap. The drivers behind, they have a little bit more leeway, but then because of how close everybody is, that could close everything up. You could, if you make one mistake, lose a big chunk of time, and that's what Anonymous is looking for on Barbans. Barbans made a mistake out of the final corner, but it looks like he's recovered. Nardo, though, retaking the lead of the race from Silo, and the McLaren is up into the lead. Silo trying to fight back right on the rear of the McLaren. DRS goes the Alpine's way. Closing in that straight line speed is something special, and he retakes the lead of the race.
Yeah, I mean, Silo and Nardo are just swapping positions left, right, and centre. It's all DRS, who has the DRS, who doesn't. That is what is going to determine this race until the last couple of laps. If they stick together, of course.
The likelihood is that...
Cornel Bem is also trying to catch up. I think him and the Mercedes are going to need to not battle and try to catch up to the top two there if they would like a chance of winning this race.
And you can play a teammate game even though it's not your teammate, because Yuri and Bem, they do have to work together. You're right. They're going to have to work together to close that 0.6 gap up to Nardo ahead of them. And it is growing lap after lap. Silo with that straight line speed is something special. And Nardo just clinging onto the DRS. Those two can work together to get ahead. Yuri and Colonel Bem can try to work together to catch up. But if they're both working together, that nullifies the advantage that they will gain. Yuri with the DRS on Colonel Bem. Colonel Bem still has the DRS on Nardo ahead of him, and Nardo just unable to find that gap once again on Silo. So they're just slotting in Silo to Nardo to Colonel Bem to Yuri. Those four, they've all got something over the rest of the grid, even though they might not have the gap. They've got the aura of drivers who are able to accelerate at a moment's notice, and that top four is likely to stay in that way. Maybe not in that order, but for a very long time. Colonel Bem 0.3 behind Nardo. DRS will be available to him on the main straight, and he's going to be able to have another go.
Yeah, same will be doing with Josh Rose and Deacon. They are actually teammates. They will be working together, try and overtake the rest of the pack. They are racing for Aero Esports, who are currently 8th in the standings, I believe. 8th in the standings on 47 points, getting a P13 and P14 last race. So they are currently doing better than they are before. But now back to Nardo and Silo with a DRS. Will Silo make look for a move? No, he won't. He's just going to tuck in behind the McLaren for that DRS zone there. Now going into turn, I believe, turn 6 and 7, I reckon. Turn 6 and 7. Yeah. Now going into turn 9. Silo is going to look for a move on the main straight. On the start-finish straight. Not really straight, there is a corner there, but yeah.
And the top 7 at the start of that lap had built up a gap. Anonymous has closed it down. Those hards could be the tire to be on in the next few laps. Anonymous and Josh Rose will be the main beneficiaries of that, as Harrison and Lando just aren't anywhere near in this race. Silo retakes the lead. That straight line speed is something to admire as he heads down that straight. It's quite impressive considering the amount of, well, you pretty much want to turn in every corner as responsively as you can. So the fact that he's got that straight line speed is a testament to the way he's driving. It's a testament to the fact that he's able to stay that quick considering the fact that he's had to balance the two, and he's definitely gone for more of a straight line speed setup than the rest of the field, which is why he seems to have that advantage on the straight, and why it's so impressive that through the corners that disadvantage that you'd expect him to have seems to be nullified. Little mistakes though starting to creep in from Silo. Last couple of corners he's run onto the grass, and Nardo will be looking to take advantage. We've got 26 laps left in this race. We're over a third of the way through, and Silo and Nardo don't look like stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to pit at some point, which is the advantage that these hard runners will have. Their tyres will not die off as fast as these mediums. The mediums might have to pit in the next 5, 6 laps, we'll say. But there's quite a few of them. There's four drivers on hards. We'll see how that strategy plays off for them.
In the meantime,
now,
Colonel Bem and Yuri made contact as they headed out of turn 2. Colonel Bem dropping down the order after a little half spin that he was able to save himself from. And that's what I was talking about earlier. If you go too aggressive, it could go wrong. And this time, on this occasion, Yuri's gotten away with it, but it's been at the detriment of Colonel Bem, who's dropped down to 7th place now. He's within the DRS still of the cars in front, but that advantage that he had, track position, was nullified. He needs to fight this back now, and he will want to fight this back as aggressively as he possibly can. Climb back up, regain those positions before it's all too late. DRS won't be sticking around for all of these drivers for this entire race, you'd think, you'd hope, because, for example, the 2 Alpines will need to pit, so they'd have to double stack, and that would really, really mess with Conts. But Colonel Bem down the straight, wants to get past Barbance, looks to the inside line on Barbance, who covers it off. There's a yellow flag out, that's going to be Phoenix, but Suzoy comes into the pits.
Suzoy, the first driver to pit, I believe, who's gone onto the hard tyres there. Racing for AMS, who are currently top of the standings by quite a good amount of points. 124 points they are on top by, which is the ABE, I believe, are Red Bull, which are currently P6 and P11. They're going to be looking to close that gap. But now, Nardo and Silo, same story as always. Just waiting for that DRS zone. The main one, we'll say. The start-finish straight. Where Silo just has amazing straight line speed, but Nardo catches him every time. DRS enabled. Will we get him this lap? Yes, he will. Sending it down the inside. But now the Alpine has the inside. Now the McLaren has the inside. Some good racing there from both of them. Very clean. Talking about Conts now. Conts and Yuri. Conts gets past. Oh, so does the Williams. Bit of wheel banging there. And the Williams has now got past AMS Yuri and the not the Red Bull, but the Red Bull is now behind him, looking to get past him. Could that be signs of tyres dropping off?
But Barbance dropping behind Anonymous really shows that you can't go too aggressive. He was trying to fight up, and he's dropped a position to Anonymous, whose tyres are starting to become the favourable ones. Those hards are only going to get better, and Suzoy clearly thinks they're going to last. So does JD Bergsma, and so does Leclerc, of all the relevant drivers at least. I know Phoenix came in as well. I'm sure we'll see on this lap. A couple more coming to the pits. I've been proven... No, I haven't been proven wrong. Yuri comes into the pits. Nardo takes the lead of this race. He picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which will put pay to his fight for the top. If so far this race is anything to go by, that will be disappointing for him, and that will be disappointing for AMS, who haven't had the best of weekends. They were hoping for Yuri to carry them up to success. He was fighting for third place, but now he finds himself behind Suzoy and with a 10-second time penalty.
That 10-second time penalty is going to ruin AMS's chances of getting that win possibly maybe not the win, but the podium for sure. He was one of them in the top pack, but now he's came out just below his teammate AMS Desoy, who was also a very good driver who's proved himself a few times. More than a few, actually, but he's hoping to catch back up. He's on the 2-lap hard. But now, when will we see Silo and Nardo pitting? It's not this lap. Josh Rose gets past on Bob Benson, Cornell Bemmer pitted. Bob Benson's got a 10-second time penalty for speeding. That seems like a bit of a problem here. These penalties. Everybody seems to be getting them. There's 3 people in them so far.
Staying penalty free will be important in this race. Barbance does get ahead of Colonel Bem on track, but as you mentioned, 10 seconds worth of penalties will be applied to his time, either at the end of the race or when he serves it in the pit lane. He comes out ahead of Colonel Bem. They both come out behind the 2 Mercedes, behind the 2 ABS drivers. However, they all have their teammates within touching distance. Leclerc maybe not in touching distance to Colonel Bem, but on track, he's the one behind. 6.7 seconds is the gap separating the 2. But these 5 drivers are linking back together again. I know 3 of them have got penalties, but on track fighting is basically a penalty in itself because you are more likely to lose time there. You're taking more risks by fighting, and that is the risk that Sazoy and Colonel Bem are going to have to run. Silo retakes the lead of the race. They're stretching this medium stint.
Yeah, Silo and Nardo. They are just battling DRS zone after DRS zone, corner after corner. Not maybe in the corners so much, but in the DRS zones for sure. Which is going to lead Kont and Brandt to catch up. So, same for Anonymous. His tyres will start to prove why he's gone on the hards from the start, sooner or later. Because Nardo's and Silo's tyres will start to drop off by now. And that's 7 Clerk getting a time penalty. Where is he? Oh, he's in P15. He's just recently pit. But yeah, there is now all the 4 drivers that were on the hard compound are now all in the top 10. Which has proved something. It really has. But it means that the medium runners will catch up to them when they pit. It's going to be weird to see what strategy was the better one in this race. But now, Nardo's going to look to get past Silo again. He's going to get it, going down the inside. Slightly in ahead of him. The Alpine's sitting behind.
But Yuri has caught up to the last of these hard compound tyre runners. That is Lando, who he gets past, setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the process of 109.3, which is a quick lap, especially on those hards. Bran came into the pits on this last lap. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out, and it looks like he's going to come out behind this pack. He might even come out behind Geekin if Geekin has the momentum. Bran touches the wall on the exit, but no, he might even come out ahead of Colonel Bem. They're going to be side by side as they head into Desida de Largo. Colonel Bem has the outside line. Bran has the inside. And there may have been contact between the 2 as they head down the hill now up to the S's. Bem trying to hold on, but Bran just clinging to that P12 spot, knowing that he can't really afford to fight. He needs to get past these drivers as soon as possible. Both the AMS boys have gotten past Lando in the meantime, and they are able to spread their wings. They're able to fly past the rest of the drivers now, 7 seconds to Harrison, who's not showed the pace, and that's Lando going off, feeling the pressure of those hard tyre runners and becoming the latest victim of the commentator's curse. In the meantime, though, Kont and Anonymous are fighting. Kont staying ahead of Anonymous. Josh Rose trying to get involved in this battle as well. It's a 3-car battle, and it's now become between the 2 hard compound runners. Rose around the outside, Anonymous to the inside, almost tapping the back of the Alpine there, but he has taken that P4. He could be looking for that switch to P3 as soon as possible. As Lando retires from the session, it's a virtual safety car.
Oh, a virtual safety car. This gives time for the drivers to have a break, we will say. Maybe people will pit under this. Silo and Nardo might pit. If they get there before the virtual safety car ends. We are halfway through the race, just to say. So, what have your thoughts been on the race so far?
Well, it was very close, but the strategies have been split, so that means all the drivers have split. I think the right way to go was the way that Anonymous, Josh Rose, and Harrison have gone about it, as they haven't gone into the pits. Well, Silo hasn't, Nardo has, and Conts will stay out Leclerc getting a drive-through penalty to add misery to the Aston Martin's days in P14 with multiple penalties now.
Oh, the Red Bull gets forced off the track and he spins. Oh, he manages to keep it straight. There's been 2 drive-through penalties. That is just a shame.
But this lot are absolutely scrapping. It was 3 wide momentarily. Colonel Ben missing out in that battle. Bran and Barbant side by side. Barbant with a little wobble loses the position to Bran. Could lose another one to Colonel Ben. Leclerc retires from the session in the pit lane. That's unsurprising. But who is that coming out ahead of them? That's Nardo, who's in the lead of this battle. Barbants and Bran side by side. Bran losing the position to Barbants and could lose another one to Ben very soon. Although at the moment this is a difficult spot to overtake. And so he won't. But Nardo, 7th place. The lead of this pack and the only driver who's pitted ahead of him is Suzuki.
Yeah, it's interesting to see when Silo and Conch will decide to pit. It is an interesting thing to look at. Josh Rose has overtaken Conch, by the way, on the hard tyres, now in for 90 laps. But Conch gets the position back. Bit of a battle going on there. But it's now in 1-2 for the Alpines. Provisional, of course. Who are CRE, who are 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Is that Aston Martin gone off?
That is Leclerc who's retired from the session.
Ah, okay. AMS Yuri has retired from the session after a drive-through and a 10-second time penalty. That is now 3 retirements.
And they're racking up by the moment. The 2 Alpines, though, being out in front is a very interesting strategy call. You'd think one of them would come in under
the Red Bulls and the Alpines have just gone off track. Sorry to interrupt there.
Right. But Silo and Conts are the 2 drivers in the lead of this race. Anonymous and Josh Rose are 3rd and 4th. They're in the best position of all the drivers, apart from maybe Suzuki and Nardo, as Nardo has caught back up to Suzuki sensationally. 8 laps old, 9 laps now is what Suzuki's hards are. 9 laps old, and Nardo's 7 laps younger than that. Colonel Bem gets past Geekin, but 2.7 seconds is what splits the McLaren and the Aston Martin. But Nardo now, he has the pace advantage over Suzuki, which is not something we've been able to say much this season. The McLaren will look to get past the Mercedes. Close behind. He's so close. He's to the inside. Is Suzuki going to fight this? Indeed he is. And he squeezes him as much as he can. Suzuki just covering off the McLaren and holding on to the position for now. It's difficult to overtake there at the best of times. And Suzuki holds on to the position. The defensive maneuver was perfect. It came at the right time, although DRS will be available for the McLaren on the exit of the final corner as they come out of it.
Josh Rose is now pit, one of the first person on them 20-lap hards, I believe.
And it's interesting to see how the Alpines are really stretching these mediums.
Yeah, that's an interesting strategy. 21 laps on mediums. I do not think that is a good idea.
But we'll have to wait and see. Safety cars could be a possibility. I think that's what they were waiting for. I think that's what they're still waiting for. But surely at some point soon they're going to have to come into the pits. Maybe they're waiting for the soft compound tyre right at the end of the race. We've got 14 laps left to go in this race. Suzuki's looking to stretch those hards to 24 laps. So is Phoenix. Jordan hasn't come into the pits. He's in P13. I think a lot of the drivers are waiting for safety cars. Nardo, though, is praying that there won't be one. Yellow flag is out. But
who is that
driver is getting going again. I believe that was...
I
Yeah, it was
believe
Barbans.
it.
It was one of the Red Bulls. I thought that. So it was
There's
really.
a battle going on between the Haas and the Red Bull here. Is that? Oh, Silo is now pit. His teammate has not done the same though. Before they might have double stacked, but I guess not. Silo's pit. Where will he come out? He's gone on the softs. He's going to stretch them softs 13 laps. Barbans a 10-second penalty and he retires from the session in the pits. That's just, I would retire too, honestly. 10 seconds is too much to recover from.
Especially
But now it's,
considering he got one earlier.
now it's anonymous in the top of the race. On the 22-lap hards, he's also yet to pit. He's gonna pit for softs when he does come in. Ferrari, what team are they? Scherer Esports team, who are currently 12th on the standings with 2 points. CPI Nardo now in P3, who will go to P1 when Conts and Anonymous decide to pit, which is a very good strategy, to be honest, from him.
They've both come in. Anonymous and Conts have both come in. Surely they're going to go onto the softs for the last 13 laps of this race. Some drivers couldn't even stretch the mediums that long, so we are going to have to wait and see. It is going to be the mediums for Anonymous, the softs for Conts, who's serving a penalty as well, it looks like, maybe. I didn't think he had one, but he was held there for a very long time. And now the battle for P3 commences. It's between Geekin, Bran, Colonel Bem, and Silo. Geekin leads, but not for very long. Bran gets ahead. He's up into P3. These 4 drivers are separated by about 3 car lengths, which, if there's 4 cars, it doesn't really go. So, the Silo as well is on the soft compound tyres, and the gap that he's able to take is down the inside. He's down the inside, and that's 5th place for Silo. Trying to fight continuously. He sent it again on Geekin. It's not quite going to work out, but that advantage is what he's able to take. Geekin defends to the inside line. He switches to the outside, and Silo is unable to take the position. On the exit, though, the grip is just too much, and Silo is up into P4. P3 soon as well must be his. It might be a double overtake on the same straight. He's past Bran, and he's up into P3. It's side by side, right behind Geekin and Bem, going through Bran as well, just ahead of them. They slot out in the same order they went in, but Colonel Bem is looking to change that, looking to the inside, to the outside, to the inside. He almost sends it into Bran. He doesn't quite. Geekin has to run off the track. Collateral damage for the Haas. To the inside he goes, still trying to cling onto it on the Aston Martin. Squeezing Colonel Bem to the outside. Still side by side. Geekin forces his way back through, but he's out of the DRS almost of Bran. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. He's out of the DRS, but will he be as they pass the detection point? Silo, in the meantime, is closing up to Suzoy at a rate of knots. Nardo leads this race ahead of Suzoy. But the Alpine is close.
Lap by lap, we are getting closer and closer to the end of this race. It's going to be interesting how Silo Softs turn out to them final couple of laps, I believe. He's by laps 36, he will be on 13 lap softs. But then also Nardo is on 7 lap hard. He had a good strategy, probably the best strategy, I would say. Unless these softs do last long enough. It's too early to say yet. Anonymous has dropped down a lot compared to wherever he was. So has Conts. He's also got to catch up there. Oh, it's been a retirement in the pits. Didn't he just retire? Oh no, that was his teammate. It's a bad day in the office for the Red Bulls, who are P2 in the standings. Oh no. ABE. AMS Sasoy, though, in P3 there. MAR Jordan's just gone for sauce. He might go for the fastest lap
trying to investigate because I've been told that the AMS team might be able to win the championship if they stay where they are. I'm just trying to work that out in my head. My mental maths not that good. But they are 77 points ahead as it stands of ABE. Where are our ABE drivers tonight? Let me have a look.
They've DNF, both DNF'd.
They're both DNF'd. So, and heading into the final 2 races of the season, they are only able to pick up a maximum, an absolute maximum of 86 points. And currently 77 points ahead. They need to gain 10 points or more, so it's 5th place or higher for Suzoi, who's currently in 3rd place. Silo is in 2nd. He's the one who gained the position. Suzoi is thinking about the championship now, and that's why he pitted so early. Track position is going to be so important. But the drivers behind him are on fresher tyres. So with 8 laps left in this race, it could be the case that the championship slips from the fingers of Suzoi as it's 3 wide. Teammates collide between Geekin and Rose. Colonel Bem causing that damage, causing more contact as he and Geekin come together. But Josh Rose comes out the beneficiary of that. He's in P5. Colonel Bem looking to the inside P6. Geekin, little bit too far behind in P7. But Suzoi, he's the driver in P3. And with 8 laps left, he can't lose 2 more positions.
Just to correct you, I am not sure. Aren't they 124 points ahead? AMS to ABE? Due to, because 150 plus 100 is 250, then to 74 is another 24. So 124? Not sure if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No idea, to be perfectly honest with you.
So I think anyway, I think in P3 that is them winning this championship, I believe. There's some good battling going on back there though between Cornell, Bem and the Haas. I think they just collided because they both dropped back a little bit. But now Silo is currently hunting down Nardo. Will he be able to catch him in time though? I reckon he will. But Barbent says that, oh no, he's already retired.
Bran is 2 seconds behind Suzoi. That is coming down. Josh Rose is 1.3 seconds behind Bran. That is also coming down. And Anonymous and Conts are in the DRS as well. So Suzoi is not in a good position. 7 laps to go in this race. Suzoi is not in a good position. And Bran has breached 2 seconds. He will get DRS in the next few laps. That could be the end of Suzoi.
Yes, Suzoi. He's nearly 3 seconds behind Silo, who's currently on the softs, and they are much faster than them hards. I have to say, 18 lap hards compared to 7 lap soft, I know who's going to win that battle. If Suzoi does catch up.
He's actually managed to fill the gap to Bran.
Yeah. The Ferrari is now... Anonymous is hunting down Josh Rose in the Haas, who is Aero Esports, racing alongside Geek in there, who have just been in quite a battle, we have to say.
Definitely, all race long. I think Colonel Bem's actually been... I think he'll be disappointed with his race performance. He's down in 8th place. He was fighting for the lead early on. That's gone out the window. He's dropped to 8th. Silo leads this little group. He's in 2nd place. Suzoi is keeping that gap to Bran between 2 seconds and just above. Josh Rose, though, getting past Bran and up into 4th place. Anonymous following through as well. Those medium runners could be pressuring Suzoi in the next couple of laps.
Still 2.7 tenths. 2 seconds and 7 tenths between Silo and Nardo. Nothing much happening there. But in the rest of the pack. Oh, there's contact there between the Haas and the Aston Martin of Cornell Benham. Cornell Benham has gone off of the track with a Haas going side by side with him. Cornell Benham's going to get the inside of this corner. The Haas backs off. Might try and get him on this corner. No, he can't. He's dropped back just a little bit. But he's going to try and get him here again. Going around the outside. He's gone down the inside. Will we get the move done? Yes, Cornell Benham gets the inside now. But the Haas comes out on top. Cornell Benham is going to want that DRS and get him on the straight. There's contact happening between these two, left, right, and centre. They're going to call a safety car. There's contact again. There's wheel banging. Oh, Jesus. Cornell Benham just sends it. It's coming a demolition derby at this point. There's going to be a few race reports after this, and probably a few words getting handed out to each other as well.
Definitely. In the meantime, though, we'll look back at the battle for P3. The battle for the title. Suzuki leads this group, but they've all got DRS on him, and it's only a matter of time now. Maybe Conce's tyres might be going off because he's on soft, but the rest of the drivers have better tyres than Suzuki. So it will be very interesting to see what happens as they head round the final corner for, well, what's the word for penultimate but for? I have no idea, but Anonymous right on the rear of Suzuki. He could be getting past on this lap. DRS will be available to him. It won't be available to the Mercedes. And he is through on Suzuki. He can't lose any, well, he can lose one more position, I think, because it'll come down to race wins, I think. And that's
Oh, they're banging, they're wheel banging on the straight again.
Yeah, so AMS win the championship if they finish fifth or higher. Josh Rose looks to take fifth, doesn't quite. 21 laps is a long time to stretch those hards. They will be 24 laps old by the end. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's not looking good.
Aston Martin looking to make a move again into turn 7 now. He has got it done, but the Haas isn't going to give this up so easily. And I know that for a fact because of what's been happening.
DRS is still available for Suzuki, just about on Anonymous as he heads down the straight, but he just doesn't have that momentum anymore. Josh Rose on the rear of the Mercedes, switching to the outside. Suzuki allows him the space. He will know the position in the championship, and that straight line speed is just about enough for Suzuki to hold on to it. DRS will be available again as Suzuki picks up 3 seconds. They will not be securing this championship in Brazil. They'll have to wait to Saudi Arabia, which is the next race next Tuesday, to seal the deal. I think that's Phoenix who's gone round again in the meantime, which has caused a yellow flag. It's too late for any safety cars to come out. So we will not be seeing Bernd Mailander take a trip around the Brazilian Grand Prix, which will be a shame for those drivers that tried to hold on. Suzuki, Geekin, Colonel Bem, Phoenix and Harrison as well deserve shout-outs for keeping going, because they're pretty much outside the points. One of them picks up 1 point, one of them picks up 0 points. So, and that looks like it might be Phoenix retiring from the session. As he comes into the pits, we're on board with him. Is he going to retire, or is he going to go for the fastest lap? We'll have to wait and see. He's not retiring yet. He might actually genuinely be coming into the pits. Fair enough. Fair play. Sorry, that's my controller. Which likes to do that every time somebody pits. And speaking of the lap cars, Nardo is getting past now.
Josh Rose has just gone past Bran, and Bran's just gone past Josh Rose. Silo gets a 3-second time penalty.
That's the end of his battle for the lead of the race. If there was one, because he's on those soft compound tyres as well, that would have pushed him to the edge. But Nardo continues to lead, and he will most likely win this
To win.
race, as he deserves to, because he's shown the pace over. Well, maybe not the pace. Silo, I think, has had the quicker pace, but Nardo taking the opportunity of the safety car restart, and he has earned this win.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel bad for Silo. I think he just that strategy with the mediums didn't work out too well for him, and now this penalty is quite unfortunate for the driver. But that's just racing.
Suzuki has now lost the DRS to Anonymous down the main straight. Bran and Josh Rose and Fonts all behind him, looking to pile on that misery. Deacon and Colonel Bem swapping positions yet again. I'm not going to watch that battle because it could go very wrong very quickly. But we've got 4 drivers who are ready to battle for P4. Bran gets ahead of Suzuki into P4 on track now. Suzuki obviously having a penalty. So not really fighting for this position on the final lap of this Grand Prix. We've got Josh Rose. He's going to be looking to scrap with Suzuki in this final sector. P5 will be the target for the Haas. It will also be the target for the Alpine, for the Mercedes, and for the Williams as well. So all 4 of these drivers still think they're in contention. Josh Rose is closing in, and he's got one more corner to make a move, but he's not quite close enough. The victory today will go to the McLaren. It will go to Nardo. He's dominated. Second place, Silo, the quickest driver of the weekend, but just couldn't hook up the strategy when he needed to. Anonymous in third, climbs above Silo. It's 3 wide in the end. It's a photo finish. And that's Bran who comes out on top. Josh Rose in 5th. Conts in 6th. Side by side across the line, as it should be between Bem and Geek, and they've fought all this time. And Bem comes out on top. The last finisher will be Harrison, but that is your grid.
So, whilst we're here, who is your driver of the day?
I think it's got to be Nardo, the way he took his opportunity of the virtual safety car restart.
I agree with you. Yeah, he's just mastered everything today. The strategy, everything. Fair play to him and his team, Team Echo. Here's the podium ceremony.
And it isn't the title sealed for Suzuki, for AMS. This race, they will have to wait for the next one. I'm not 100% sure what the driver's title is like, because has it been updated? Oh yeah, it has been updated. Never mind. I do know what the driver's title is like, and I know that it looks like Suzuki is. Has it been updated? No, it hasn't. It looks like Suzuki is going to have a hold on that as well. AMS will have to wait another week, though, to seal their double. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Well, I might not do. Who's doing Wednesday? Is it you?
I think it's me and Epic.
So Epic will be back on Wednesday. So will Trav. But, well, I won't be. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.
Humans, what have you learned? I was programmed to beat you. programmed to beat to you.